We're taking a look at his life and legacy and how he's being remembered. We have breaking news, a deadly shooting in the Hazelwood neighborhood. Here is a live look at the scene right now. This is at Southeast 122nd Avenue and Pine Street. Portland police say an officer spotted a man lying on the ground there just after 4 o'clock this morning. Medical personnel pronounced that man dead after trying to help him. Police are investigating this as a homicide. Southeast 122nd will be shut down between Burnside and Ash, and it could take several more hours for them to process that scene. Let's get to our next hot topic. The Sandy community is in mourning after a woman, her mother, and a 16-year-old boy were shot and killed. ARC PDX's Daryl Burke joins us live from the Clackamas County Courthouse this morning. I know, Daryl, we heard from neighbors who knew one of the victims. It sounds like she was turning her life around after going through some really tough times.
Yeah, that's right, Angelica. Longtime friends of Jenna Overson say she was in drug and alcohol recovery and recently made some strides. The mother of 5 had just reunited with one of her children months ago, and we're told she was continuing to turn things around before her life was cut short. On Sunday, Jenna and her mother, Mary Overson, were killed in this shooting along with a 16-year-old boy. That relationship the 16-year-old had with Jenna and her mother is unclear at this time. A Sandy police officer was also shot while responding to the domestic dispute involving the victims. That officer is still recovering in the hospital, but according to the mayor of Sandy, he is expected to survive. Family and friends, along with those who were in drug and alcohol recovery with Jenna, held a vigil at the Recovery Center in Clackamas on Monday. Those who knew Jenna said she was a kind-hearted person, describing her as a ray of sunshine who would do anything for anyone. Shannon Boyett, who'd been friends with Jenna for more than 10 years, said the gift of recovery is regaining what you've lost, and she told us that Jenna was working toward that. Others we spoke to gave us some insight into Jenna's relationship with the suspect, Brian Moore. We're told the two were partners and shared a child together, but some also say they recalled how Moore was physically abusive toward Jenna in the past. A longtime family friend, Kim Kirkstra, said this situation proves domestic violence is a real issue. And Angelica, Kirkstra also went on to say that her and many others had been working very hard to get Jenna away from Moore, but she believes the love she had for Moore was just too much to keep her in that situation. Angelica?
Daryl, I know the suspect, Brian Moore, was in court yesterday, right, for his arraignment hearing.
Right.
What more do we know about the charges he's facing?
Yeah, Angelica, Moore is facing 3 counts of first-degree murder and attempted murder for allegedly shooting that Sandy police officer. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Moore was here for an arraignment hearing at the Clackamas County Courthouse on Monday, and we also learned through court documents that Moore is also charged with kidnapping 2 separate people for the purposes of holding them as a shield or hostage, and another charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm. Moore is being held without bail at the Clackamas County Jail. Moore is due back in court on Monday, June 8th. As you know, Angelica, we'll closely be following this tragic case as it continues to unfold.
Yeah, so sad. All right, Daryl, thank you. We are still tracking the fallout from the chemical tank implosion at the Nippon Dynawave facility in Longview. Officials say they're still working to assess the damage to the ecosystem, but they say things are getting better. The blast sent the toxic chemical called white liquor into canals and ditches. As we reported yesterday, crews recovered around 2,000 dead fish since the disaster. We talked with a representative with the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife about what they're seeing.
Based on current observations, fish mortality appears to be associated with that initial pH spike within the ditch system shortly after the incident. This type of high pH spike, can irritate or damage the gills of these fish species, which causes them to, reduce oxygen levels, physiological disruptions, and can lead to like stress and mortality, which is what we're seeing. Fish are adapted to survive within pH levels of 6 to 8, which we're seeing now, but was not the case during the initial spill event. The impacts have currently been limited to the ditch system adjacent to the incident. We're seeing normal pH levels in the Columbia River main stem and have not observed any confirmed fish and wildlife impacts in the Columbia River main stem. Again, that's been all isolated to the ditch system. The majority of these fish that we're finding are non-native or introduced fish, including like carp and sunfish and bluegill. There have been like limited recoveries of some native fish, including red-side shiners and pea-mouthed chub. Red-side shiners are a minnow species, but that's been the extent of the fish. I think folks are seeing a lot more of these fish, and we expected the numbers to increase. We have limited crews out there being able to cover these fish. The dike system is slippery and deep, and so being able to recover a lot of these larger congregations of deceased fish has been difficult. We are actively in the neighborhoods and the surrounding area collecting fish, so you'll see those numbers increase as crews get to them.
So right now, Fish and Wildlife says they're also monitoring the risks of secondary exposure, like birds who eat the fish or other animals that drink the water. They say with the closer to normal pH levels, the impact should be limited. Tonight, there will be a benefit concert for the victims of the disaster at that plant. The show will be at the Columbia Theater, featuring country artist Court Carpenter, who grew up in Kelso but is now based in Nashville. He told us how it all came together in a short time frame.
105.5 KUKN, which is Cooking Country here in Southwest Washington, contacted me and said, hey, let's get this done and let's get it done on Tuesday. So we got together and put the show together within a few hours, which is usually unheard of when you're putting together a big event. And we dialed it in for the Columbia Theater, who's donating the theater to us, which is super kind. And we just got together and said, hey, this has to be a night of uplifting music and just lots of fun for people who in the community have had such a hard time right now. The community living and growing up here in Kelso, Washington, even though Longview is our crosstown rival, we're all one community, and it's Kelso, Longview, Rainier, Kalama. Everyone in this area knows each other, and that's what's cool about growing up here is you can go right down the road and everyone knows your name, kind of thing. So how that has come together during this tragedy has been really cool to see, and it doesn't surprise me though at all, just because the community is so tight knit.
Dakota Robbins from Toledo, Washington, will also perform at the concert. Doors open tonight at 6 o'clock. The show starts at 7. Tickets are $30, with all proceeds going to the families. A secure fund has also been established for those who would like to donate but can't go to the concert. You can find all of this information on our website, katu.com. Stick with us as we track the latest on the disaster in Longview. You can find all of the updates and our previous coverage on our website, katu.com. Tributes are continuing to pour in for Rick Adelman, one of the most successful head coaches in Trailblazers history. The NBA Coaches Association announced his death yesterday afternoon. He was 79 years old. The Hall of Famer has the 10th most wins as an NBA coach, with more than 1,000 wins. Adelman played point guard in the NBA and was one of the members of the Trailblazers' inaugural team back in 1970. He started his NBA coaching career as an assistant for Dr. Jack Ramsey before eventually taking over as interim coach in the 1988-89 season. He led the Blazers to the finals twice and was also head coach in Sacramento, Houston, Minnesota, and Golden State. In a statement, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver shared his condolences to Adelman's family and friends throughout the league. He said Adelman was one of the most respected and accomplished coaches in the history of the NBA. Silver said Adelman's leadership, innovation, and genuine love for basketball left a lasting impression on generations of players and fellow coaches. He also added, quote, "He was a brilliant strategist and teacher of the game, and an even better person." We're also hearing from our viewers, some of you. Rick Fritz on Facebook says, "A class act, great man, and all-around good guy. Rest in peace, coach." And Phil North says, "I met him once. We had a short private conversation at a small event he did at St. Mary of the Valley High School in Beaverton. Terry Potter was there as well. Mr. Adelman was a true gentleman." You can join the conversation by leaving a comment on our website, katu.com, or our social media pages. Coming up on ARC PDX, SNAP recipients now have to complete interviews to renew their benefits. We are digging into who could be impacted by this policy being restored. Plus, concerns over peeling lead paint in Cornelius. We're hearing from a woman who's leading a petition urging city leaders to take action. Welcome back. Happening tonight, city leaders in Hillsborough are set to meet for a pivotal work session about the growing number of data centers in the city. The city says the meeting is meant to provide information and answer questions as leaders consider whether to pause future data center projects. The city has also launched a webpage with information about data centers and their impact on the community. The work session is set to start at 6 at the Hillsborough Civic Center. Public comment won't be taken during that work session, but neighbors will have a chance to comment during the regular city council meeting, which is set to happen after the work session. A woman in Cornelius wants the city to address peeling lead paint near a daycare and a dog park. Jennifer Kimperman started a petition about this above-ground reservoir at Water Park. The tank was built in 1969 before bans on lead paint existed. Kimperman is worried that the lead could harm pets or children nearby.
The dog park, 70 feet away. And when I went to make my map, I realized there's a local daycare that is across the narrow alleyway from the part of the water tank that is most severe in the exterior coating peeling and flaking. A daycare. I was appalled. And that's when I started the petition.
The city identified the reservoir's exterior as an environmental concern back in 2017, but Kimperman says the city hasn't looked into the risk since then. She presented a petition with more than 200 signatures to the city council last night, urging them to take action. Coming up on ARC PDX, it is a toy story, not a love story. What we're learning about Taylor Swift's involvement in the upcoming Toy Story sequel. Plus, a tennis legend is making a surprise return when you'll be able to see Serena Williams back on the court. That's coming up in the download. This morning on the download, here's a look at what is trending right now. Taylor Swift is going to be in the new Toy Story movie. After teasing about her potential involvement in the film for a few days, Swift officially announced that her song, I Knew It, I Knew You, will be in the new movie. This song will be the first material that Swift has put out since last year's The Life of a Showgirl album. Toy Story 5, by the way, comes to the big screen in 2 weeks. On June 19th. That's going to be so huge. All right, tennis legend Serena Williams is returning to competition. Organizers of the HSBC Championship say the 23-time Grand Slam singles champion will play in the doubles tournament at Queen's Club in London next week. This will be the first competitive match for Serena in more than 3 years. She last played in the third round of the U.S. Open in 2022. At the time, you might remember, Williams said she was evolving away from tennis, but she never formally announced her retirement. Basketball superstar Steph Curry is no longer a sneaker-free agent. Curry announced his new partnership with the Chinese shoe giant Li Ning to create his own signature brand. The four-time NBA champion split with Under Armour last November after 13 years. ESPN reports that it's a 10-year deal that includes basketball products, athleisure wear, and the ability for Curry to sign athletes under his brand. A lot of money there. Coming up on ARC PDX, the Portland Horror Film Festival returns tomorrow night. We're hearing from organizers about what you can expect to see. Plus, lifeguards are back at the beaches on the Oregon coast, what they're looking out for to make sure everyone stays safe.
From K2 News, this is breaking news.
That breaking news, a homicide investigation in Southeast Portland. It's 7:23. I'm Angelica Thornton. This is a live look at the scene right now. This is Southeast 122nd Avenue and Pine Street, which is still closed for the investigation. This happened around 4 this morning. An officer spotted a man lying on the ground. First responders pronounced him dead at the scene. They say it appears he'd been shot. You can see the Portland Police Bureau's mobile command unit is there. Police have not announced any arrests. If you know anything, call Portland Police. 122nd, by the way, is now closed between Burnside and Southeast Ash Street.
And it's Mike in the Meckins Auto Body Live Drive. This is SR 14. We're going eastbound. Look at that sun. It's right in your eyes. Make sure you bring those sunglasses this morning. But that's really pretty much the only problem you're going to have. It's kind of congested in the usual spots, but not a big deal for you. You do not have to take detours. There's no lane closures. Should be a good drive. We're going to update you throughout the morning.
With those sunglasses, also bring sunscreen and just be prepared for a very warm day. Water is also going to be helpful. First, a look at the Init Spanish Head camera. I mean, it's looking a little foggier out there, but it should clear up, and we're expecting a nice sunny warm day today, up to 92 degrees here in Portland. More of the 70s in the week to come, with temperatures gradually dropping towards the weekend and rain chances beginning Saturday.
This is ARC PDX.
Welcome back to ARC PDX. I'm Angelica Thornton. We begin with more of the hottest topics on our feeds right now. 180,000 Oregonians may be impacted by newly restored requirements for SNAP benefits. As of yesterday, June 1st, all households are now required to complete a SNAP interview when they're renewing their benefits. During the COVID-19 pandemic, some households were allowed to skip renewal interviews. The Oregon Department of Human Services says they've reached out to SNAP recipients to let them know about this change. Nathan Singer with the Oregon Department of Human Services says staff members are prepared for the increased workload.
From the department, we've been preparing for this transition through operational planning, staff training, and outreach. We're also going to continue monitoring our workload and service levels as this change is implemented and make adjustments on how we are staffing and what we're able to do within our budgets and structures as we see this rollout happen. Some older adults and people with disabilities will notice the biggest change because many of them were covered by the temporary interview waiver. All other individuals have been doing interviews as required by federal eligibility rules during this period of time. What we're doing is we're encouraging and recognize that some of these households may face these challenges completing interviews because of language barriers, communications need, limited access technologies you described. If someone needs an interpreter, ODHS can provide one. Interviews can be completed both in person or over the phone. If you'd like, you can have a support person with you during interview. If you have an authorized representative with your case, they can complete the process on your behalf. Our goal really is to help eligible individuals and households successfully complete the process and continue receiving benefits if they're eligible for them.
ODHS says the best thing to do if anyone is unsure about their benefits is to contact their offices. You can also find more information at benefits.oregon.gov. If you're headed to Sauvie Island this summer, you'll need a new permit. Starting June 15th, Oregon Fish and Wildlife requires a beaches permit, parking permit on weekends and holidays all the way through Labor Day at Walton, Collins, and North Unit beaches. ODFW started selling the permits yesterday. Drivers will pass through a check station at Reeder and Rentinar Road to verify. A daily permit costs $10. An annual pass is $30. ODFW says the fee is in place to help protect wildlife habitats during the busy season.
We started doing permits because during the summer, when it gets really hot, the beaches are, of course, a really popular place that people want to get out and enjoy. But over the last many years, we've seen parking issues where there have been so many vehicles that they have outnumbered parking spaces by a large margin on those hot summer weekends. So that's led to traffic jams. It's prevented emergency response vehicles from getting onto the island and providing a timely response. Also, Sauvie Island is first and foremost a wildlife management area, and protecting habitat and the species that we manage for there is really important. So having, an excess of vehicles, double parking on grass, there's fire risks. There are a lot of safety issues that we're trying to alleviate by implementing a program like this.
You can buy those permits online. All right, time now to go beyond the bridges and bring you the news from outside the Portland metro area. As temperatures heat up, millions of people from both near and far will be headed to the Oregon coast. No matter how experienced you are with water, it only takes one riptide to change everything. Seaside is already staffed with lifeguards through Labor Day. We talked with Genesee Dennis with Seaside Fire and Rescue about the program. He says the big part of the job is spotting possible problems before something happens.
And that's even goes down to, being able to tell whether somebody is really familiar with the ocean or the water or not, in the sense of, if you're a good swimmer, and you know how to swim, you're probably going to wear a bathing suit that's not restrictive. But we see people in, jeans and long sleeve shirts. They'll go out in the ocean. So we want to take, a closer look at those folks because we know that they're probably not able to swim very well, or, they'll have an inner tube or some sort of flotation device. And so when we see these, folks, or even if they're getting a little too far out, we'll want to make contact and talk to them about the hazards before they get in trouble. So that's the big thing about preventative lifeguard is we want to identify and prevent people from even getting into trouble in the first place.
Water temperature and the air temperature play a huge role in rescues. Last year, there were only 5 rescues, but the year before, it was 30 when the water was much warmer. The Portland Horror Film Festival is back for its 11th year tomorrow night. It runs through Sunday at the Hollywood Theater and Clinton Street Theater. This year's lineup features more than 24 hours of independent and international horror, including the 45th anniversary screening of My Bloody Valentine. Gwen and Brian Callahan from the film festival joined us on ARC PDX last night to talk about the event. Here's that conversation.
For anyone who's never attended this before, including me, what should we all expect from their first Portland Horror Film Festival experience?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to say first, pace yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it is 5 days. Yeah. So 3 evenings, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is in the evening showings only. But then once we get to the weekend, we just take up your whole day.
Yeah.
It's 12 to 9 p.m. at the Clinton Street Theater. And there's a little break in there. But we're hoping that everyone will love the film so much that they will just have their butts glued to the seats the whole time.
Yeah, and one of our sort of theses is that horror is not just one thing. So we always try to create this massive balance. We try to get in all the subgenres of horror. And so when you come to it, even if you just come for one day, each shorts block has like a variety of films from all sorts of horror genres, folk horror and slashers and psychological horror, and anything you can imagine we put on screen.
Awesome, good variety.
Yeah.
What makes this year's lineup maybe stand out from past years?
Gosh, we have a lot of feature films, and all but one of them where the director is actually going to be in attendance.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, so there's one film we're playing on Sunday night, The Invisible Half, which is from Japan, and he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But all the other feature films will be represented by the directors with a Q&A afterwards. So that's The Demonatrix, Grind, which is Bria Grant, Chelsea Stardust, and Ed Doherty.
And Chelsea Stardust is an alum. We showed her feature Satanic Panic back in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have the 45th anniversary screening with George Mahalka, which we're really excited for.
Yeah, how special is that?
So it's going to be the uncut version of
the
movie, which is only 3 extra minutes, but it's 3 extra minutes of gore and blood and guts.
It's all blood.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And so if you like that kind of thing, that's worth seeing on the big Hollywood screen.
And then getting to hear from the director after, which is really a cool experience.
Yeah, he'll be interviewed by one of our other guests of honor, Andrea Subasati, who's the executive editor of Rue Morgue magazine and one half of the Faculty of Horror podcast. So she's sort of a horror scholar.
I love that. I love that can be a thing. Yeah. Obviously, lots of blood, guts, creepy stuff. It just seems really fitting for Portland. Like, why do you think this makes so much sense in Portland? Why do we embrace this so much?
Well, it's a great movie watching audience, right? There's something about Portland that really puts butts in theater seats versus just streaming at home. And that's one of the things that we really believe in, is putting things on a screen like that. And I don't know if it's the rain or what, but it seems like we have the best. We always tell filmmakers we have the best audience in the world, and they're like, yeah. But when they come to the film festival, they leave going, oh my God, that was the best audience in the world I've ever seen at a film festival.
Enthusiastic, supportive, they're super into it.
They stick around for the Q&As.
Yeah, so it may just be more of just fans of film in general, I think. So they're really into it. What does independent horror cinema offer, maybe, that like the bigger budget films that we go see in the theaters, like what does it offer that those don't?
I mean, it's everything, right? I mean, it's nothing made by a committee to be seen in a movie theater by by millions of people is really ever going to be scary or have a unique point of view. Although we're having a little bit of a renaissance right now with indie horror in theaters, with Backrooms and Obsession. But mostly we like to think the films that we're playing they're scarier, and they have a better a more interesting point of view because they're very often single writer directors making the film. So they have a really unique point of view, and they really sort of exploit these sort of personal fears that a person might have, not something kind of designed, which is what you would see in sort of normal, like, mainstream horror releases.
No, that makes perfect sense. And you guys obviously massive films of horror. Can you tell me why?
I mean, horror goes with everything. You can lay anything on
Does
top
it
of it. Yeah,
does it
does.
really?
You can mix it like peanut butter and chocolate. It goes great together, but horror goes great with everything. You can have drama. You can have a romance.
Good point.
You can have a comedy. You can have, you know, a western. Like anything.
A documentary.
A documentary, exactly.
True crime.
Anything you can think of goes with horror.
It's essential to the human experience.
It's also kind of like when you slip your vegetables into the smoothie, you kind of we get messages, you know? It's a really good way of storytelling without actually coming out and saying, like, you know, delineating what you're trying to say, but you kind of couch it in a specific way of telling a story.
Oh, cool. Hey, Gwen, Brian Callahan, thank you both so much for being here, telling us all about this. I'm sure it's going to be a huge hit, and it's all going to sell out. So good luck, and I hope it goes great.
That's a great interview, Wes. All right, coming up on ARC PDX, June is National Safety Month. A spokesperson with SAFE is joining us next to talk about ways to practice safety at the workplace.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
I love the change of a season. There's this beautiful renewal that happens, and spring is knocking on our door right now. But it's not just time for spring cleaning. It's not just time for changing over the wardrobe. Spring is an amazing time to revamp your beauty routine. Out with the heavy skincare, in with the new foundation. And if you've ever wanted to do laser hair removal, spring is the perfect time because you will be hair-free by summer. I am obsessed with this device. It's the Frida, and it's actually a 2-in-1 beauty device. First and foremost, it's an IPL hair removal device. It is FDA cleared to remove hair from your lip down. Now, I can do this without any pain, without any wincing at all. You're seeing it right now in the single flash mode. It also has a continuous mode as well if you prefer that. And then secondarily, it serves as your red light therapy device. Red light therapy is all the rage in the beauty industry right now. Red, blue, and violet light helps to stimulate collagen and promote glowing skin, and it's all available in the Frida. Honestly, I don't know why anyone would ever wax again. It's expensive, it's painful. With the Frida, just 2 to 3 times a week, you'll have permanent results in 8 to 12 weeks. Right now, we're offering 50% off the Frida Hummingbird. The deal is $99.99, which is quite literally the cost of one laser session at a medical spa. Head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Good morning.
Oh, there you are.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
Good.
Judy Croft. I'm just making sure I got it right.
Yes, thank you.
Nice to meet you, and we'll talk to you live in just a minute here. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelica.
The following segment is sponsored by Safe Corporation.
June is National Safety Month. It's a time to pause, reflect on your safety habits, and refocus on prevention. SAFE is a nonprofit company providing workers' comp insurance in Oregon for more than a century now. Joining us to talk more about the company's mission is Judy Croft, Safety and Health Strategic Planning and Development Manager with SAFE. Good morning, Judy. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning, Angelica.
Judy, tell us more about SAFE and the work that your company does.
So SAFE has been around since 1914. We are a not-for-profit workers' comp company here in Oregon. Our focus is on protecting workers in the workplace, returning injured workers to work, keeping workplaces safe, and keeping rates low in Oregon.
So let's talk about how does building safe habits start at home?
Well, we always think about care and concern for others, and that starts at home. And when we go to work, we take on a different approach to safety, but it's really a 24/7 experience. It's keeping us safe and healthy while we're at work, while we're at play, and in our communities.
So let's talk about works. What are the safe habits to practice at the workplace?
Usually businesses have safety rules and procedures, and it's easy to get caught up in being in a hurry and leave those things behind. It's important that we watch out for each other. We think about how does everybody go home safe and healthy at the end of the day, or go home safer and healthier by just taking a couple of minutes to talk to your coworkers, talk to your supervisor, and make sure that you know the safe procedures for the work that you're doing.
How does practicing safety impact the entire community?
When people are injured on the job, it impacts their family, it impacts the community. We've seen on the news recently just the impacts up in Washington, and nobody wants to have that experience. So it's really a community effort to think about how do we watch out for each other on the job and off the job.
It's such an important topic, obviously, what the community in Longview is going to be talking about moving forward after that tragic accident. Judy Croft with SAFE, thanks so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Nearly a dozen big-name acts have canceled or postponed upcoming tours. While the artists cite a number of reasons behind their decisions, much of social media is calling it Blue Dot Fever. It is a reference to ticket buying platforms and the blue dots you see that represent unsold seats. Industry analysts say what started as an online meme turned into a flashpoint for concerns about cost of living and where entertainment spending fits in.
The data shows that there aren't more cancellations than usual. Ticket prices are expensive, but they're not radically more expensive than they've been since the pandemic.
They say the recent cases of artists pulling the plug shows more about how tours can be a tricky business. Coming up on ARC PDX, a Rose Festival tradition returns to Portland this week. We're getting you a preview of Fleet Week right after the break. Gorgeous shot of the Ferris wheel at City Fair. And Portland is getting ready to welcome a longtime Rose Festival tradition. Ships from the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Coast Guard, and Royal Canadian Navy are expected to arrive along the Portland waterfront this afternoon as Fleet Week gets underway later this week. The Navy has been part of the Rose Festival for more than 80 years now. You'll be able to tour the ships for free on a first-come, first-served basis. You will need a federally approved photo ID. That means a real ID or a passport if you don't have a real ID. U.S. Navy ships will be open for tours from Thursday through Sunday. Remember, do not wear flip-flops, open-toe shoes, or heels if you want to get on a Coast Guard or a Navy ship. They are strictly prohibited. Best to wear sneakers down to the waterfront if you want to check out those ships. We are just days away from Dragon Boat racing season. The races are this Saturday and Sunday. The event has been around for almost 4 decades now. It started in 1989. It's held on the Willamette with heats happening every 9 minutes. More than 60 teams are participating, and that includes local, national, and international teams hitting the water. We joined a team during one of their final practices and talked about what pre-race rituals they are planning.
We try to give our team the most advantages that we can, and I believe that visualization helps center their energy and focus it and walk through a race in their mind of what that needs to look like for them to excel.
The boats are provided by Portland Kaohsiung Sister City Association. Look how beautiful they are. This is why so many photographers love to go to this event and take pictures. The race, by the way, is free to the public. The Portland Fire back in action tonight. They're in San Francisco to take on the Golden State Valkyries. The Fire are 6-4 on the season so far, the 6th best record in the WNBA. The team is coming off a dominant win against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Tip-off for tonight's game is set for 7 o'clock. All right, go Fire. All right, tomorrow on ARC PDX, it is graduation season in Portland, and many teens will be taking on a new responsibility, managing their own health care. New graduates need to start scheduling their own appointments, understand insurance, and start making medical decisions on their own. According to a recent survey, 71% of teens said they would have benefited from more preparation. A licensed clinical social worker will join us live tomorrow to discuss the ways to navigate this transition. It all starts tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock right here on ARC PDX. Thanks for joining us this morning. You can join us again tonight starting at 10 for ARC PDX, then every weekday morning from 7 to 8. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, everyone. Enjoy that sunshine.
From K2 News, this is breaking news.
That breaking news, a homicide investigation happening right now in Southeast Portland. It's 7:57. I'm Angelica Thornton. This is a live look at the scene at Southeast 122nd Avenue and Pine Street, which is closed for that investigation. At around 4 this morning, an officer spotted a man lying on the ground. First responders pronounced him dead at the scene. They say it appears he'd been shot. Police haven't announced any arrests at this point. If you know anything, call Portland Police. 122nd, by the way, is still closed between Burnside and Southeast Ash Street. A man has pleaded not guilty after he allegedly killed 3 people and shot a police officer in Sandy. Brian Moore is accused of killing his partner, Jenna Overson, her mother, Mary, and a 16-year-old boy. Sandy police say Moore also shot a responding officer multiple times, but he is expected to survive. Moore is also accused of kidnapping after he allegedly used at least one person as a human shield. He has been denied bail. Friends of Jenna Overson remember her as a kind-hearted and generous person. They say she was in drug and alcohol recovery and had recently made some strides. They tell K2 that Moore had been physically abusive to Jenna in the past. Moore is due back in court, by the way, on June 8th.
Mike Warner, the Mackins Auto Body Live Drive. Ooh, it's slow coming down I-5. If you're coming down from Vancouver, we're at a whopping speed of, well, I was 2 miles an hour. Now it's 0. It's very, very slow everywhere. It's just jam-packed. We don't have any big lane closures or accidents or anything like that. It's just really crowded this morning. Bring those sunglasses. Super bright out here. Should have a pretty good drive. Give yourself extra time. We're going to update you throughout the whole morning.
You can see those clear sunny skies out there too, Mike. And right now, or not right now, but today we're expecting to reach up to 92 degrees. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures are going to drop significantly, though, as we head into tomorrow to 75 degrees. Still a nice day out there. Our normal, though, 72 degrees for reference. We're going to stay within the 70s through the rest of the week, ahead of rain chances reaching us on Saturday here in Portland. Although we are going to continue to see this warm weather, or some warm weather, returning next week.
From K2 News, this is breaking news.
That breaking news, a homicide investigation in Southeast Portland. It's 8:27. I'm Angelica Thornton. This was at Southeast 122nd Avenue and Pine Street, and the investigation shut down the street. At around 4 this morning, an officer spotted a man lying on the ground there. First responders tried to save him, but pronounced him dead on the scene. They say it appears he'd been shot. Police have not announced any arrests at this point. If you know anything, call Portland Police.
It's Mike Warner in the Mackins Auto Body Live Drive. This is I-5 South. I'm just about to get down the Markham Bridge. It is really slow on I-5 all down from Vancouver. Just really crowded. There's not an accident or lane closure or anything. It's just going to be slow for you everywhere you go because a lot of people out here. We do have one construction notice. St. John's Bridge, westbound lane is blocked for work on the St. John's Bridge right now, so that's also slow. Just give yourself extra time and have a great day out there.
It's important to understand, and not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, not 7 times, not 8 times, not 9 times, but 10 times. 10 punches to her face. 10 punches, closed fists to her face, causing her nose to be fractured, causing her eyes to be blackened, her lips to be swollen. And Attorney Lynch, as we in our team, we broke down that video, you see he punched her 6 times, and then the other officer tells him, that's enough, I got her. And then he punches her 4 additional times. It was unjustified, unnecessary, unconstitutional, and just outright inhumane. Amen. Where is the humanity for Cherie Moore? I tell you, the thing that really begs the question in my mind, Bishop Moore, Mr. Moore, and this should be a question for all of you too. Right. What would the narrative have been if there was no doorbell video? Come on. What will the police report presented if there was no doorbell video? Oh my God. You wouldn't be here. And you would be here. And can you all imagine if it wasn't for this doorbell video? How many other sisters and brothers were this police officer, this so-called police officer, would he have brutalized? if it wasn't for that video. And it wasn't for you all standing up demanding justice for Cherie Moore. How many more of us will have fell victim to this police excessive force? We wanted to be clear that we're here to get full justice for our sister. We don't want partial justice. We don't want 3/5 justice. We don't want half justice. We want full justice for Cherie Moore. What are we here for? What are we here for? What are we here for? Full justice. And so we know, because of you all in the community, that they did fire the officer for what he did on the video. And you should give yourselves a round of applause. You made that happen. Concerned citizens standing up for Cherie. You all made that happen. And then we got retained and we started calling for criminal charges to be brought. And they did bring criminal charges. However, we think that now that we have the medical records that provides evidence that our sister, Cherie Moore, suffered a fractured nose and her eyes were black and her lips were swollen, serious bodily injury. Now, the prosecutor can go back and increase the charges from simple assault to assault with serious bodily injuries inflicted. Yes. Full justice. Full justice. And understand, Bishop Moore, Mr. Moore, we're not asking for anything special. What we're asking for, if that was the prosecutor's daughter, who this police officer did like this, what would he charge that officer with then? Whatever he would charge them with for doing it to his daughter, we want the same thing for them doing it to Greg's daughter. Equal justice. Equal justice. Amen. Nobody is above the law. That's right. She is a mother of a 17-year-old daughter. She is daughter to Mr. Gregory Moore. Her mother passed, and Mr. Moore has been standing in the gap for his daughter who suffers from mental illness, which is something that is very common to all of us. Right. I mean, think about it, y'all. If we don't stand up for Cherie Moore, who will? That's right. We all may have people in our families who have mental health crises. Do we want them to be beat down like they beat her down? That's why we have to stand up, y'all. Her family has been supporting her. The community has been supporting her, and we have to continue to do it. She finished, despite her mental illnesses, she graduated from high school and got an associate's degree. This is somebody, yeah. And she still struggles with schizophrenia and bipolar. That has been diagnosed. And so we know that this is an ongoing issue. Right. And so, yeah, and so don't blame the victim because of her mental health crisis. Don't blame the victim because of her mental health crisis. We have to blame the people who are supposed to be trained professionals to deal with a mental health crisis. Yes. Stay right there. Stay right there. Yeah. And sisters and brothers, even though we got the arrest, we can't get complacent, because an arrest is not a conviction. And we have to fight for justice until we get a conviction and we get full justice. Everything that the law will allow, that's what we want. And so we're going to present the medical records to the state's attorney and ask them to increase the charges to be commensurate with the evidence that is purported on the medical records of having a broken nose. Right? Right? You know, a mental health crisis should not equal a broken nose and a busted lip and black eyes. The officer should be held accountable for each punch to Cherie's face. For each punch. This is, you know, if I could just break it down in the most basic sense. Break it down. People don't choose to have mental health issues. Mental health challenges is not a choice. But how we respond to them is a choice. And we see how he responded is the wrong choice when you're trying to interact with someone who has mental health crises. A badge is not a license to be brutal. Amen. We expect the police to treat our citizens with humanity, with dignity, with respect. That's why we're fighting for full justice. 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 Now, before Attorney Lynch addresses you all, and then we'll try to take some questions from the media. Attorney Lynch, I want to at least let Cherie thank everybody if she can. And y'all, keep her in prayer. She's going through a lot. And yeah, and we all got to love on her more than he punched her. Right. That's right. That's right. Thank you to everybody.
Definitely want to say thank you. I'm happily surprised to see, you know, older and some younger people that I went to school with. It's nice to see y'all. I definitely appreciate it, and I plan to show it in a more, you know, I guess, obvious way in a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Justice for Cherie Moore! Justice for Cherie Moore! Justice for Cherie Moore! And y'all just witnessed this beautiful, soft-spoken, kind of shy little sister. And you saw the same demeanor on that video. You did. That's right. That's right. So how could this police officer be so brutal? I don't know, Attorney Lynch. I don't know if it's training, supervision, it's something, but how could he be so brutal? Training. So at this time, I want to introduce you to a true champion of justice who is right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, runs my North Carolina office, will be the point person on getting justice for Cherie Moore. He has been somebody who really has poured his heart and soul into this case. Y'all give it up for one of our senior lawyers, Attorney Chance Lynch.
Justice for Cherie Moore. Justice for Cherie Moore. Thank you, Attorney Crump. Let me start by saying this. I think it goes without saying, but it's important that we express our appreciation on behalf of this amazing family for all of your support and being here right now. So I think you deserve to give yourself a round of applause. And I want to speak to you all in this community that you have packed this church out, and your attendance and you being here today with your support and how you have helped make this video go viral all over the country in just a matter of hours. It's because of you. It's because of your support. It's because of your resilience. And you being here right now, it is a resounding reminder that injustice is intolerable. So you deserve one more time. Clap for yourself for being here today. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to be before you long, but I think it's important for us to just be very clear about something. The video that we all have watched, and that this video that, like I said, has gone viral, really portrays a virus that has infected our communities all across America. For so long, we are blessed and privileged to serve and stand beside so many beautiful families like Cherie and her family. And you hear on the news, I know you hear it, oh, well, they wouldn't comply. They were combative. Well, what's the excuse for how he treated Cherie? You better come on.
No excuse. No excuse.
All you heard was, excuse me, sir. Call my dad. I don't have a warrant.
Come on.
Excuse me, sir. She wasn't combative. She wasn't a threat. And so Attorney Crump, he shared a bit about these 10 punches that we all witnessed. And with every punch, being the father of 2 black daughters, made me cringe and put water in my eyes. I can't imagine how Mr. Moore felt to watch that video and to know what his daughter was experiencing, and he wasn't there to be able to help her. But yet she still remained calm, she still remained polite, and she still remained poised. But here's the thing. Everybody listen to me very quickly. I want to submit to you just a different vantage point than the officer who punched her 10 times. Just a different vantage point.
Okay.
Why did it take 6 punches for the second officer to intervene? I know since we're in church, Bishop, I can't get no help in here. Why? Come on, somebody say why?
Why?
And why did Cherie suffer 4 more punches after the first 6 punches with another officer standing right there the entire time?
Why?
And so our question is, what is Shelby Police Department's policy?
That part.
What is the policy for the department? What is the policy that says that another officer who is standing by, what does the policy say about his responsibility to step in and intervene, even if it is another officer?
Duty to intervene. Duty to intervene.
So while one officer did the punching, another officer permitted it. This is a policy issue. This is a departmental issue. And my friends, when your police department has this type of policy or lack thereof, when your police department does not have a policy that explicitly states that you are to intervene regardless of whether you're wearing a uniform or a badge, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
I'm almost done, but here it is. I know someone will say, well, he tried. Well, I submit to you that he didn't try hard enough. I submit to you that a badge is not a license to break the law. And while there's blood on one officer's hands, literally, there's blood on the entire department's hands. If there is a pattern and a policy that does not stop this type of behavior.
Amen.
What Cherie needed was a helping hand. But what she got was an officer who was heartless.
Yeah.
Y'all, this community, you have to continue to stand for Cherie. You have to stand because it's always the right time to do what's right.
Amen.
This community must stand for Cherie because mental health is not a crime. We all must stand for Cherie. And today we're standing. We stand for Cherie today, so it won't be you and your family tomorrow. Justice for Cherie Moore.
Y'all give it up for Attorney Chance Lynch. Yeah, they gonna ask what were we here for? Right. You all tell them for full justice for Cherie Moore. That's right. What are we here for? Full justice for Cherie Moore. What are we here for? Full justice for Cherie Moore. What are we here for? Full justice for Cherie Moore. And obviously this is emotional for her, and some of the family took out, and hopefully she'll be back to join us. But you can only imagine how we had to recount that painful experience for her, and she still stood here just as gentle and calm. It just breaks your heart when you think about it. I mean, there was nothing that should have provoked him to brutalize her like that. Nothing. There is nothing he can say. I don't care what they try to allege. Nothing can justify what we saw on that video. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so we're asking the state attorney to increase the charges from simple assault to assault with serious bodily injuries inflicted. So I pray the media assists us with asking the state attorney, now that we have these records, the medical records are the medical records. And we know if somebody in our community was on video doing that, causing that kind of injury, that they will be charged not with just simple, they will be charged with the most. And so that's really what we want, is for them to charge this officer, hold him so accountable, we hold the department accountable, so this won't happen to anybody else in our community. We don't want you to protect and serve other communities and then come and police us. No, we want you to protect and serve our community just like you protect and serve the other community. It's about equal justice under the law. And one of the things before we have you hear from Cherie's father, I mean, I still as a father, I commend him for his calmness and his demeanor. Yeah, I know. I got some comments from brothers all across America saying it couldn't be my daughter. Right. So I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moore, for your demeanor. You know, it underscores what Dr. King said in the letter from Birmingham jail. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And injustice here in Shelby County, Shelby, North Carolina, is a threat to black women everywhere. Because if they can get away with it here, they can get away with beating our black women anywhere. And we're going to stand up for our black women. We're going to speak up for our black women. And we're going to fight for our black women. And so we're going to have Mr. Moore, who's been standing up from his daughter from day one. And wasn't that so, man, it just was gut-wrenching when she said, call my dad.
Right.
Call my daddy.
Yes.
Call my daddy. And how he must have felt looking at the video knowing my daughter was calling for me, and I couldn't help. I mean, because that's what we want our children to do. Call for their parents. We want our little girls, call for your daddy when you're in harm's way.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what she did.
That's right.
And so he couldn't get there while that was happening on the video, but thank God he got there as soon as he could, and he's been there ever since. Y'all give it up for Mr. Craig Moore, the father of Sheree Moore.
Yes. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. I been trying to help my daughter. We've been going through a rough time. She's gonna be very scarred the rest of her life.
Yes, sir.
If she ever get the call on a policeman, she won't call the police. She's not gonna trust another cop or another man that's wearing that badge or talking about that badge. So, Lord, it's
I'm going to go, oh. Good morning and thanks for watching AM Northwest. We're looking back at some of our favorite moments from the 50 years we've been on the air. Today we've got a Rose Festival flashback, Oscar Award winner Amy Madigan, a trip to Timberline Lodge, and household hints with actor Barry Bostwick. Oh, thank you. So join us as we're celebrating 50 years of AM Northwest.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of AM Northwest from Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood. And now, here are your hosts Jim Bosley and Mary Starrett.
Boy, that was a run. Very nice.
We welcome to AM Northwest and to Oregon and to Timberline Lodge, Barry Bostwick. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Now, I asked you earlier if you were an avid skier, if you were a good skier, and you said not at all.
Not at all. Actually, I use stronger words than that we can't use on AM television. No, I think you have to be very young, start very young at it. And also, when I was in New York in the early part of my career, I was a dancer, so I was always very afraid of breaking a limb and then I wouldn't be able to eat for a month.
But as far as wanting to, you want to ski. Is this something that you would see yourself doing and maybe coming back to Timberline or heading to the slopes to really become a good skier?
I will attempt.
You'll
I will
try it.
attempt it. And I will do probably some nice charity events or something where I can, snowplow through the flags, and that's about it.
Slow and easy.
Dick Constam, you know Dick, who runs this place up here. He will get you on. You want to be on skis? He'll make a skier out of you, I guarantee.
Really?
Let's go back to Broadway. It all started there. The stage. Did you grow up there, pretty much?